I was embarrassed to, people asked me how it was going, and it was like, I was so busy as well. I was working all the insane hours trying to prove myself, prove my worth. And meanwhile, this whole idea of being a flexible business owner where I could be with my family and have my own life. And, oh, by the way, go to those beach days, that you can do when you're free and flexible. None of that was happening. Probably was another 3 or 4, if not 6 months later, before I finally had the guts to actually make the decision to invest in myself. And that was the first thing. Realizing that I actually had to decide to make that decision to invest money in me, not in something tangible, not on a holiday for everyone else to enjoy, not on something for the house, but actually just solely, purposely on me.
Just a little taster of what is coming up on the show. But first, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel. And also tell your friends and family about this podcast. Please let us know in the comments if you would like to hear any particular topic in relation to sleep or health. Then I will create a show especially for you, just for asking the question. So let's get on with the show. Hello. Welcome back to another Empowering Family Health podcast. I am absolutely delighted. Thank you so much for showing up to this podcast. I'm always delighted to have people listening in and getting empowered and inspired by all the information that we have from all the guests. And today I have the wonderful Fiona Brennan here. Fiona Brennan was on one of our podcasts, one of my very first podcasts, actually, Fiona, wasn't it, God?
Yeah, it was way back, actually, Johann. Do you know what? It was July 2020. So it was actually 4 years ago. Yeah. Really? I had just set up the business a couple of months at that stage, and I think you had just started your podcast. We had connected on LinkedIn, and that we went from there.
So, well, look at you now, Fiona. Now you are a very powerful, very empowering coach, and you do so much to help women in their life and their business. So let's start off there, Fiona. Give us a background, about, because I'm always curious why people are doing what they're doing, why they want to make a difference in the world, and you really, really have a heart of passion. So tell us a little bit of background about why you're here today.
Why am I here? A short version, I guess I would have shared this probably in the first podcast we did, but I mean, my journey started as an engineer, and I worked in the whole, I suppose, construction facility space for 16 plus years. And it's quite known to be the male dominated side of things. So I guess, over my years, without realizing it, I had to empower myself to get on in the job, while I suppose reaching a point where I then began to start a family and had all the tunings and goings with maternity leaves and all that brings when you are an employee and coming back, and not necessarily going to go down to that track today because we need a few hours. Yeah. But really, I suppose navigating all of that as a woman in a very male dominated side, empower myself in the process. I've always been quite a high achiever. And then I guess a point in life came about where I had the opportunity to leave because things were changing for me personally, but they were also changing in the business space. And I had always been thinking, I suppose, from about 3 or 4 years before that I'd love to actually do what I do for corporate, for smaller businesses. So to be that person that they don't have. So that was what led me to starting up my very first business, which was project management interiors, where I offered a freelance project management service to commercial businesses to help them to expand and renovate their premises, or take on new projects within their space. And it was because of that journey, Joanne, that actually led me to coaching. Because as I started the business, even though I was really good at what I did, and even though I knew that I could really run any scale of project, because I ran everything from small, 5-figure budgets to millions, and managed, like lots of people in a project, from, I suppose, the client, the customer, down to the person who's bringing in as a stakeholder. When I stood there as a business owner, it was a totally different feeling. All my self-worth just basically went under the floorboard.
Yeah.
My confidence just completely vanished. And I remember thinking, like, what has just happened? Because I just felt like it was like this whoosh of like back to like young girl out of college syndrome, where I didn't know anything. And yet I had these buckets of years of experience.
Yep.
So I couldn't figure out what all that was. And I just kind of worked with it and went with it and offered my services at a very, very low price. In fact, I did a lot of it for free, because I kept thinking, I'll just do this one and get some feedback. I'll just do this one and get some feedback. I'll just charge them this and I'll,
Yeah.
So it went on for about a year, and like no one there constantly like to exist. And, I was embarrassed to, people asked me how it was going, and it was like, I was so busy as well. I was working all the insane hours trying to prove myself, prove my worth. And meanwhile, this whole idea of being a flexible business owner where I could be with my family and have my own life, and, oh, by the way, go to those beach days, that you can do when you're free and flexible. None of that was happening. And about a year afterwards, I was banging my head on the kitchen table, and probably also bawling my eyes out, I would say, because I think the kids were screaming in another room. And I was working from the kitchen table at the time, and I just thought, this is not working. I can't do this. I'm cracking up, seriously cracking up. And I went Googling for help, and I don't know what I typed in. I probably just said, please help me. I don't know.
Yeah.
And up started popping some like search kind of things. Well, one of the first one or two that popped up was all about, change your life, change your worth, change your thinking, da-da-da. And I was like, what? What's this? What's this crack? But what I realized, I was actually looking at pages that were relation to coaching and learning how to personally develop, and something I would not have had a clue about, completely like clueless to any of that world up to that time. So between the jigs and the reels, anyway, probably was another 3 or 4, if not 6 months later, from seeing that stuff on the page, before I finally had the guts to actually make the decision to invest in myself. And that was the first thing. Realizing that I actually had to decide to make that decision to invest money in me, not in something tangible, not on a holiday for everyone else to enjoy, not on something for the house, but actually just solely, purposely on me. And when I made that investment and turned up the very first day, I still sat in that class thinking, what am I doing here? I'm not supposed to be here. Like, what am I here? I just didn't get it. I was so like reluctant. But by the time the first weekend of training was done, I had started to kind of sit up. I'd gone from like being really like, I don't really want to be here, to just actually just sitting up, paying attention, and started to hear things. And by the time I got home after that first 2-day event of very intense learning, I knew everything was going to be different from that point onwards.
Yeah.
There was no going back. And that was March 2018. And by September 2018, I had completely just stopped taking on projects. I completely stopped. I was doing a bare minimum for somebody who was really needed help. And I just pressed pause on the whole lot. By September 2018, 6 months later, I had 2 new really big juicy projects starting, and I had priced them properly. or certainly the first layer of proper pricing, I should say.
Wow.
And it just went up from that. And 12 months after that again was when I actually looked back and saw the difference, the change in me had made on the business. It was totally unrecognizable. And not just on the business, but in the house.
Yeah.
And I was a totally different person. I was talking differently. I was showing up differently. I was making space for me. And I was making space for the business. And I was making space for the kids. All very it just all started, the layers of just heaviness just started to fall off one by one by one by one.
I love it, Fiona. And you know what? You just described probably the life of every woman listening to this podcast, because it is something very generic that we all seem to fall into this whole area. And the first thing that the first thing that you recognized was that you need to empower yourself. And because for some, and I think it's, over the generations, women fall into that trap of, not been seen, not been heard. They're not the forefront of everything. There's expectations. There has been, and this is all history and societal stuff, And now we are starting to change now, the whole perspective of women in society and life and business. And we are important and we do have a role to play and we are leaders. Not everybody wants to be a leader, but we have the skills to be a leader. And when you said that you invested in yourself, you made an investment in yourself, because that's another thing that many women leave themselves to the last. We don't even think of ourselves first because, many of us may be mothers, for example, and we look after our children first and the husband and the mother-in-law or whatever, and we leave ourselves to last and we're running around crazy, like mum's taxi. I know you have that as well, Fiona, the mum's taxi thing. That's me, bringing the kids to different activities and what have you. And it's great. But there's a lot of expectations and we have to stop and pause, like you said, and take a breath, and assess the situation. And what is it that I really want, and I think this is an area where we don't often ask ourselves, what is it that I want? And because we want to be happy and we want to have energy. And that's something I speak an awful lot about, because for so many women, they're exhausted. And burnout is another big problem as well, especially with women. And I know you've experienced, or you've had some clients who have experienced that whole area of burnout and exhaustion. Can you talk a little bit about that, Fiona? What do you see is contributing to, some of your clients maybe that you see that would be finding that they're tired and exhausted and close to burnout?
Yeah, yes, I absolutely went through it myself. I didn't realize it was that at the time until I learned all this afterwards and looked back on it. I also think I actually probably had a sense of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because there was a big shift going on personally. And that took its toll, but I didn't deal with it properly. I parked it. Like a lot of things that had happened in a very close amount of time.
The ability to rest is the body's key to healing. Do you struggle with getting asleep at nighttime or staying asleep during the night and waking up the next morning feeling absolutely exhausted? My book, How to Get a Good Night's Sleep, is easy to understand, it's solution-based and it's packed with research to help you take back control of your night's sleep. My book is available on Amazon and it's also available on howtogetagoodnightsleep.com. This book is also available in audio and ebook. So get your copy today and start having the best night's sleep that you've only ever dreamed of.
Because I'm a high achiever, and a lot of the clients I work with are high achieving women, and they're very doers, get the stuff done, it's just make a plan, really just, and I was that, and there's still parts of me that's still very like that, and I have to watch it. But it's the high expectations that we put on ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the high expectations that others have on us. Yes, there is that, but we match it, and we match it more. And one thing I remember learning, and the coaching program that I did was literally like this skin of the big massive iceberg.
Yeah.
It was Pandora's box, and I have been learning since.
Lifelong.
Everything's lifelong. It's like, my goodness, where was I, and how come nobody told me about this before? But I remember something I was studying, and one of the elements was about our outside reflects our inside. So everything is mirrored to us. And sometimes when you would get a client, they're going through stuff that you're also going through. That it's mirroring, it's constantly reflecting back. So if you're not happy with the outside, it's usually because that's what you're reflecting on the inside. So if there feels like so much demand coming from you, it's because you're actually reflecting that back. You're demanding that of yourself. And the greatest thing I ever learned as well, I learned so many, but I suppose there's lots of but one of them was like, you have the responsibility to change. Nobody else.
Yeah.
It all starts and stops with you, because nobody else, even like your best friend, your partner, your child, yes, they love you, right? Yes, right? But they want the best for you, but they can't make you change. And nobody will really be that white knight on the white horse and do it for you. You have to do it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the essence, I know we're going to be talking about this in a few minutes, but like this, it's a decision. The very first point is deciding that you are actually going to take responsibility to make a change. And burnout and exhaustion and all that is a combination of lots of things, but at the essence, it is basically you're lacking maybe confidence, but you're just overachieving because we're in over-validation. We're looking for approval. We have these high hats on our head, and we think and believe that that's the only way. We think and believe that it has to be that way. And we think and believe that if we can't manage all these balls that we have, what does that mean about us?
Yeah.
About me. What is the world? What is it going to show the world if I let the balls drop? Oh my God,
Yeah.
And taking ourselves and then my clients now on a journey of, you don't have to do anything to be amazing. You just have to wake up and breathe every day, and you're already amazing. And anything else after that is a bonus.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. If you think about it, we're all perfectly gorgeous. You know, you're gorgeous, juicy baby that we all see.
Oh, thank you.
You're so gorgeous and perfect. So we were all that gorgeous, juicy, perfect baby. Well, we've just been dented with horrible layers and stuff thrown at us.
Stuff we learn.
And then we're thinking, suddenly we forget that at the essence, if you peel back all those layers, we are that gorgeous, juicy, perfect baby.
Yeah. Coming back to that. Yeah, absolutely.
Coming back to that. And then rebuilding from that point onward. So if I'm already fabulous and beautiful and perfect, just the way, I was brought into this world, then what else would I like to be now after this? Well, what do I get to create instead? What is that beautiful silky layer that I want to put on that feels good?
Yeah. I love it. You like, oh my God, there's so much stuff in there, Fiona, and yes, there are women out there who are high achievers, and when, this relates to the burnout, because they're go, as you say. And these are successful women. But then the question is, well, what is success? Is it financial, monetary success? Because a lot of these people are very unhappy as well. And they're getting close and close.
Yeah. And whose success is it?
Yeah.
Chasing. What's the definition? Because what is your belief of success?
Yeah.
And if you didn't have that belief, what would you have instead? What would it look like instead?
100%. So Fiona, you're speaking in our event on the 18th of August, which is going to be on in MoyValley Hotel. Golf resort as well. Absolutely fabulous place. I'm so looking forward to it. And
this is an incredible event. You're going to be talking all about decision making, and you mentioned decisions, and making decisions is something that can really exhaust us. So just to tell people a little bit about this event, Deb Drummond, Kathleen Carlson, there's amazing women that's going to be coming to this event: Fiona Dowd, Mel Murphy, Aisling Tobin, Liz Holt. Who else am I forgetting? And Deb Drummond and Kathleen Carlson, yeah. And like, it's going to be an incredible, did I say Ashley Tobin as well? Yeah, I did. So we're going to do all about from hormonal health, decision fatigue. We're going to be talking about leadership, women leadership. We're going to be talking about, your media as well, how to get on your business with media as a woman as well. We're going to be talking about so many different topics, sleep and rest, how to optimize your energy, how to perform much better, and utilize and all that. There's so many different topics that we're going to be talking about, all helping women to be empowered. And when we are empowered, that's when we show up at our best, and that's when we can lead from our heart, and that's when we are truly at our strength. And it's not like it's just natural and powerful. And this event is all about bringing women together globally, because there is international speakers coming to this event, and there is some women actually traveling over from Canada as well just to be here. They're all part of the 262 Women's Project as well. So I've aligned with Deb Drummond, and to bring Deb Drummond and Kathleen Carson, all these amazing people, to this event on August 18th and August 19th. So we're going to be having 9 speakers on the day, and we're also going to be launching the book, the 262 book as well, which is, I should have had it out. It's over there in the box. I should have had it out. So we're launching this book. It's the first international stop. So it's going to be, this is the first of a 5-year global book tour. And 262 women have come together and collaborated in this book. So this event is a celebration of that book, but also it's a celebration of empowering women, bringing women together, like-minded women who want to achieve the same thing in life and in business. Because how we show up, how we are being, that's what brings fruition and energy and strength to our life and our business. It's who we are being. And when we're empowered, we have the confidence that you spoke about as well, Fiona. And when we have the confidence again, we can really speak from our heart. And I am just so excited about this event. It is going to be powerful. It's going to be such a powerful event. There's incredible women that have been helping support me in creating this event. And that's what this is all about. It's about collaboration and helping each other and asking each other for help, telling each other what we want, where we're stuck. There's no shame, no guilt, no blame, nothing. This is about us helping each other. That's what this event is all about. So Fiona, you're going to be talking all about decisions. Why is decisions such an important area? And I know you briefly touched on it there. If you want to expand on it a little bit more, why people need to be at this event to hear your talk in particular, because it is a massive one. And I definitely do struggle with making decisions because I could have like 100 things going on in my head, and it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. Well, that's it in a nutshell. It is exhausting. And it also stops you from proceeding forward. It's exhausting, and it holds you back. So it's a waste of energy. It's like worry. Indecision is a waste of energy, and you can't move forward. You're sitting on the fence. If you've got a decision to make, do I go left? Do I go right? Forward, back? The green field or the brown field, all while you're sitting on the fence. And you can't move off the fence until you've decided which one into like. Why is it's a personal thing for me, because my life changed dramatically because I made a decision, a very big decision. Yeah. And I realized just before that decision making, everything was really like, we were stuck. I was stuck in a very stuck situation. And I had a moment of, I suppose, let's call it drop, where I realized that, hang on a minute, if I decided differently, if I made a different decision,
it's like sliding doors.
Doors. Yeah. And just move in a different direction, I don't have to be stuck. So I could choose to not be stuck and make a different decision instead. So I made a decision to do something. And from there on, it opened up a whole other array of decisions that came after that, because one decision leads to another. And it's about learning to go to each one and making a decision at that point knowing that another one will open and another one will open. And there's a few nuggets that I'm going to save, obviously, for the people at the event. But the big thing is the longer you sit in indecision, the slower progress you're going to make on your journey. So if you are a high achieving woman, if you're a business owner or a leader in your own field, whatever space that you're in, you obviously want to be moving forward. So it's very important to become a decision queen.
That is perfect, Fiona. That is brilliant, because making a decision, it is life changing for your business, for your life. When you make that one decision, you can move forward. And you spoke about responsibility as well. So being responsible for your decisions and making those decisions from a place of what's important to you, your values. And this is where our values come.
Yes. So we bring vision into it, and we bring, alignment into it, and all those juicy things. And, I'm going to take you through a beautiful process on the 18th. But just, whether you're a leader of just yourself or a leader of your family or a leader of employees in your business, depending on what your business looks like, for you to become an empowered decision maker, like that just blows everything out of the water. Because you can, for all the ones that love getting stuff done, making clear, conscious decisions, get stuff done. Because you get all
in your head, a clear space in your head.
Clears. It's like having, all the tabs, 20 tabs on your laptop open. Even to this, look at them like, or even if you're like, when you do that thing with the mouse where you're kind of, toggling is the word, between them. And you're like, oh God, which one will I land on? Which one will which one will I work on? That is like your brain when you've got decisions to be made. They are each of those opened are taking up space out of your computer. It's running down your battery. The fan is spinning. That's you in your head.
Yeah.
When you have an unmade decision, it's sucking your brain energy dry. Even if you say, do you know what? I don't need to make that now for another 3 months because that's of a bigger thing. So I'm just going to park that in the back of my mind for 3 months. It's still taking up energy because you haven't closed it down.
Yeah.
And that's energy that leads to burnout, because when you wake up at 3 a.m., what's spinning might not be fully clear. Why am I awake? Why am I spinning? Why do I feel agitated? It can be because of a lot of unmade decisions that are spinning. Your brain is kind of like there, what it's trying to do. It's fighting for the night. It's like, no, she didn't decide on that yet. Leave that one open. No, she's still sitting on that one. Leave that one open. And all that stuff is going on, and you're trying to sleep. And we all know the importance of proper deep sleep. So, there's lots of factors for sleep, but definitely unmade decisions feed into that.
Well, Fiona, I cannot wait to hear you speaking on the 18th of August. It's going to be incredible, because it can help us in so many different areas of our lives as well, and like sleep, obviously one of them, in our business and our relationships and like all these areas. So look,
all the areas. And I would probably love to take over the whole day, because I've got my challenge now with actually cutting it short to be able to share like 3 or 3 away like oodles.
Tell us, Fiona, where can people find you, just if anyone wants to connect with you and work with you?
Yeah, I'd love to connect with anyone who's listening. So just pop on to LinkedIn as the easiest and look up Fiona M. Brennan, because there's a few Fiona Brennans on there, a few of us in the field. So I'm under Fiona M. Or if you look up Inspire Action Success is the name of the business, and you can send me a message on there. So inspireactionsuccess.com.
Brilliant. But I do encourage people to reach out and even just have a chat. You do coffee chats and all that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Lovely coffee chats. Get to know you and your business, and you never know what you get from just a casual conversation.
Completely. Absolutely. So Fiona, I'm going to put a QR code up here as well for the event, the Eventbrite link for the 18th of August. And so you'll find all the details if you go to Eventbrite. Just click on the QR code. I'm going to have it in the show notes as well. And I'm going to have all your details in the show notes, Fiona, also for people if they want to reach out and connect with you. So Fiona, I'm just going to ask you for one empowering thought. Like if you were to leave our listeners with one empowering thought, or maybe just to wrap up our conversation today, what one thing would you like to leave our listeners with?
So, yeah, so many, but let's just maybe follow on from something I've said. It's an empowering thought of you being responsible. So I would ask you to maybe, if there's some little thing that's just rattling you right now, that's just not flowing that you'd like, or is just you're irritated in some part of your life, I'd love you to just like, for all the world, if the thing feels like that it's outside of you and that you can't control it, I'd love you to just literally get your fingers and just turn it back into yourself. Not in a blame. Absolutely not. But to just put it back into yourself, say like, what can I do? If there was one little small thing that I could do that would make something be different or feel different, what could it be? And just start that whole process of personal responsibility from there. And it can be as simple as, you know what, I'm just going to think of it differently, or I'm going to talk to myself differently, or I'm going to maybe make a phone call, or I'm going to take some time out to let it all sit. Whatever it might be, it can be a very, very small, tiny move, but you get to take it, make it, be it, do it, have it.
So being responsible for that small action.
For yourself, yeah. And I mean, I could give you oodles of examples, but even if it's far as like, the house is driving me crazy, all the kids are whatever, and they're all demanding of me. Well, that one thing, what could I do differently, is maybe just say, announcing that I'm taking myself on a nice 20-minute walk.
Love it. I love it.
Or, and declaring like that pressure that you're putting on yourself that is leading to that sense of agitation, stress, like who is putting that on and what's it relation to? And what if you decided to do something differently instead?
Yeah, so taking responsibility, whether it's, good or bad, and there's no good or bad really, but I hear what you're saying. So being responsible, but not blaming and shaming ourselves. It's all
no, absolutely. Blame and shame has got no space. It's just, if I could change something, what could it be? And it can be very, very small. It can be from the way I'm thinking to, is there something I could delegate, or, just doing something, just one small, tiny shift.
Yeah. And that's important. Small one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I could talk to you all day long, because this conversation is right up my alley. I think it's profound. Once we recognize and we choose and this understanding, this learning, and that we do have control over our lives. So Fiona, look, I'm going to see you I'm so
excited. Absolutely, Joanne. It's such an amazing event, and I'm so delighted that you are hosting it. It's going to be incredible. It's going to be transformational. And if nothing else, the energy in the room is just, it's like, come along, anyone's listening to this, come along just for the magnetic energy.
There you go.
Carried energy that you're going to leave. You're going to leave goodie bags, but you're going to leave also just...
I didn't mention that. Free gifts.
And if you think about it, like the Monday is the 19th of August, 2 more weeks leads us into September. Like, what a great way to get recharged and rebuzzed after the summer, to have some fresh insights. You're going to learn stuff and lead into September. Just really I can do. This is possible. And, you're going to meet and connect with different people. So you're going to have more supporters leaving that room than when you come into that room. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, because there's a collaboration and network. And so it's going to be an incredible event. Loads of spot prizes, swag bags, free gifts, lots of stuff. Funny, you summed it up nicely there. I can't wait to see it on the 18th. So for any of our listeners as well, if you have enjoyed listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube or the audio platforms, please do subscribe, share this information, and please donate to the show as well, because there is costs involved in getting podcasts out. So I would appreciate a small donation. That would be absolutely fantastic. So with that, Fiona, thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you.
For having me, Joanne. It's such fun. And we're not leaving for 4 years for the next one.
Yes, absolutely, for sure. I cannot believe it's been 4 years. Holy moly, we're
crazy.
Okay.
Live off it, sure we don't.
Have a great day, Fiona. Talk to you soon.
Thanks, Joanne. Bye.
I do hope you are enjoying these conversations, and to help me continue putting these videos and audio podcasts together, I do have an ask. I do need support to help me to keep bringing you knowledge and insights. There is a Patreon link, patreon.com/empowering family health, or you can make a donation via PayPal. All the links are in the description and the pinned comment. You can do a one-off or you can do a monthly support. So I'd really appreciate that. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Take care.